Some of the OGs may remember a couple years ago when I set up a laundry room vent booth for my printer. That has served me well, but the cabinet I use to house my printer is pretty small. PioCreate, aka Creality, recently sent me their new Highlight X1 printer for review, and since I didn't really have enough space in this area for that printer, I decided to try setting up my printers in my garage. And that didn't really work well for me, mainly because my garage door faces the sun all day, and every time I open the door, UV light floods the garage. The temperature fluctuates a lot in this room, and it's also a lot harder to control fumes. So for those reasons, I decided to go back to a laundry room setup, and that kind of turned into a laundry room renovation project, and that's what this video is about. So I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to redo this space right now, but yeah, it's definitely a better option to keep the printers in here. I got a few ideas, so we'll see how this develops. A lot of it depends on what size cabinet I can find, or if I have to build my own cabinet. But for now, I'm going to work on the rest of this. I'm actually going to use that cabinet door down here and build a cabinet into the wall here, because this has been dead space for quite a while, and it is quite a bit of space. And yeah, this house is kind of small, so it's nice to have as much space as you can get. So having that space is going to help me a lot. That's what I'm working on today. And then later on, we're going to try and figure this out. So I'm not like an expert level try-hard carpenter, and I wasn't really coming at this with a really solid plan, so my glue-up process for this wasn't exactly the best, but I got there eventually and got the thing in place. According to the internet, you can remove cabinet faces with a piece of scrap wood and a hammer. I had never done this before and I was a little skeptical, but I tried it out and it did work. Oh, look at that. Huh. It worked. Okay, so this is a few days later. Here's how it's looking. It's kind of hard to film in here just because it's such a tight space. But we repainted the walls. We went with like a kind of like a baby blue. It's got a little bit of green in it. It's kind of hard to tell. There's not a lot of lighting in here because we took the lighting fixture down. I'm actually going to put some neutral bulbs in here so it's maybe a little better for filming. So I got the cabinet in place here. It's working pretty well. I got some stuff stacked in front of it and I haven't loaded it up yet. And yeah, I was debating for a while how exactly I wanted to build this out. We were looking at pre-made cabinets and I couldn't really find anything that I thought fit this space well. They are either too short or too big. So I'm going to make my own. I'm just going to build it right into the wall and then I'm going to put a piece here on this side and probably build some doors in the front. Here you can see the side is attached. I had to cut some sections out on the bottom to leave space for the power cords and the dryer vent. I wanted to have the option to remove it in the future if I needed to, so I just loosely set it in place. Here we go. I had to replace my old fan with a slimmer fan to free up some space, and this is the one I chose, the Cloudline S6. I've only used it for a few weeks, but so far I really like it. It was packaged well and the install was pretty easy. My only real issues with it are that the body is mostly plastic and the single button remote is a bit tedious to use. I would prefer a dial personally, but it's not a deal breaker. These fans get pretty good ratings and I can see why. If you want to pick one of these fans up while also helping this channel, I'll have some affiliate links for it in the usual places. That's magnetic. Nice. To install these fans, you have to remove the centerpiece to expose the mounting bracket. I mounted that to a pre-cut board and pre-drilled some holes to line up with the studs. Of course, the ones on the left side ended up being an inch off. Look at that, plenty of room. I also decided to stack two pre-made wall cabinets on top of each other to create a taller cabinet. That's going to sit beside the sink. I had to make a toe kick for it and a midsection to help hold the top and the bottom together. Should see. There we go. I don't have all this storage space optimized yet, but I was able to move a lot of random studio stuff into this cabinet, getting some of that clutter out of sight, which is what this project is all about. I also installed another in-wall vanity mirror, which took a lot longer than you would think. Instead of a door, I decided to use a pull-down window blind. I installed some trim to give that support and keep it from bowing in due to suction force. That's gonna work pretty well, I think. Alright, so I started a test print about an hour and a half ago. I have both printers running right now. There's a little bit of an odor in here. I had actually came in here a few minutes prior and I noticed that this print failed. I am kind of playing around with this to get an idea of how fast I need to have the fan going. I had it at like maybe 25%. I do think I'm gonna turn that up one more notch. There we go. I haven't ran this printer in like a couple months, so I'm not too surprised. This one looks like it's going good. Still maybe another like 2 hours on this one. It actually looks like the bottom layers did adhere, so I think this might just be a fluke. I'm gonna try running this thing again. I was kind of assuming that it hadn't actually adhered to the plate, but I was wrong about that. I think it may just be that the resin wasn't fully mixed up because this thing's been sitting for quite a while, so we'll see. I'm gonna run this again, see what happens. Just doing a quick vat cleaning. It helps to use a scraper for this sometimes. There we go. So at this point, I am calling this project done for now. I don't think I'm going to put the shelves back up that were here, just for decluttering purposes. I don't think I mentioned the new light that I put in here is a motion sensor light, which is really nice. Not just for when you're doing laundry, but also with the prints. If you're handling resin prints or whatever, you know, it's just nice to not have to turn the light on. Sometimes. This is working great. I didn't really show you guys before, but this is how I built this out. I just kind of added a little bit of a lip. There's a bigger lip on this side. I wish I had done one this size over here, but I was worried that it would take up too much space, but it still works just fine. And then you can see I kind of added an angle to this piece. I might paint this at some point, but I just kind of wanted to use it for a little bit and just kind of make sure that everything is the way I want it to be before painting it. Same with the wall here. I want to repaint this at some point. But sorry to say that is not going to be part of this video. With this one, it was that the resin wasn't mixed up enough. I haven't had any issues since then. This one I'm still working on the parameters, adjusting them, trying to figure out what works best. Last but not least, I wanted to quickly run through my printing process because it has changed a bit. Just, you know, if you're interested in this kind of stuff, the prints start here. I keep a smaller tray with the drip tray. The drip tray is for this printer, optional use, but it also works well for storing scrapers and stuff, keeping the handles out of the resin and nice and clean. And I keep that here on the windowsill so it gets ambient light and any resin cures that's on there. So I transfer my prints onto another tray. That's just my transfer tray. And then I move that into the garage. So this is still a work in progress, but yeah, this is at the back end of my garage. So ambient light from the garage door being open shouldn't be as big of an issue here. I'm a little more concerned about the water freezing in the winter. Over the past year, I've been working on insulating this room a little better. So this winter, I think I might try actually setting up a heater in here. But anyway, I'm sticking with a 3-stage wash. I use these pickle jar containers. I don't think you can get these anymore. Unfortunately, I haven't seen them available online for quite a while, which is really unfortunate because I cannot find an alternative this size, and these work perfectly for washing prints. So if you're looking for some of these, sorry to say they might be hard to find. For a while, I was literally just using these to wash and they work just fine. But now, since Creality sent me a nice big wash and cure machine, I use that for my third stage, and that's what this bin here is for. I raised it up a little bit so the basket was a little further away from the fan, because I don't like my minis getting chopped into pieces. So yeah, then I wash that in there and cure it in there, and then set it out here to dry. Pretty simple. One of the biggest reasons that I decided to keep the wash and cure in the garage is because I can just dump the water out. I have a bin outside of my garage door that I dump my resin water in and just let it evaporate. So it's nice to not have to carry that through my studio, and then I can just get a pitcher of water, bring it out here, fill them back up. It works pretty well. There's also a bin outside where I put my supports to cure. Yeah, my neighbors probably love this. I know this probably looks pretty messy, but yeah, this is what I've been working on and off for like the past year, is renovating this garage. I actually did quite a bit of work to it, so I'm probably going to be doing a vlog style video on that at some point before the end of the year, probably. Just trying to get this finished up because I want to make a nicer backdrop here. You know, just working with limited space requires a lot of problem solving. So yeah, that's about it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, maybe found it useful. Maybe it's something that you're considering doing yourself and gives you some ideas on setting up your own laundry room printing area. Hopefully you guys understand that every once in a while I do have to step back from building terrain and actually work on my house and get my studio in order. I am hoping to get back into more regular content soon. A huge thank you to my patrons for the support. If you want to help support this channel and what we do here, Patreon membership is a great way to do that. That's it for now. Hope you have a good day, and I will see you later.